I came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really hip. There isn't any cost of membership. All you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this ship. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
And you can't imagine how fast that 3 minutes goes by. It really does. It just fucking flies right by you. Before you even know it, you're on the air. What is going on with why is that so out of whack? I hope it wasn't like that for the whole show. No, it looks like it was mildly centered. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's just stop that. Let's get rid of that noise. Let's get to the meat of the matter. Does my camera work? And it does. Okay. All right. Check. First two checks. That's working. Let's get rid of that. Don't need that right now. Let's go over here and say our hellos. It looks as though we are live at YouTube. I can tell because my brother John Rogers is hollering back at me. Good to see you, John. Hope everything is groovy on your end. Thanks for being there. How about over at Rumble? Are we live at Rumble? Ooh, I'm seeing 4 people over there. Whoever the 4 you are, God bless you. Thank you for being Rumblers. Happy to have you aboard. Really am. Pilled Foxhole, the home of free speech in America, where you can, there's nothing you can't do on Pilled to get yourself thrown off the air. I'm telling you. Look at that. Prayer Warrior Girl, a rock star. It says so right next to her name. Good to see you. Yes, this is going to be a very interesting one. This is going to be a good one. Father Larry, how you doing? Good to have you aboard. Kristen Hudson is in the house. Prairie Fire is with us. Pilled Promos, that means one of the Mats is with us. What is going on, brother? Pilled Promos, always good to see your smiling face. Did you hear what I said? I'm sure you did. I'm bragging that Pilled is the only true home of free speech in America, and I constantly encourage people to go to Pilled Foxhole. Sign up. You go to pilled.net, you sign up, doesn't cost you a penny. Once you're all signed up, all you need is an email address. Then you can join the people at thefoxhole.app and join the party where you can make a sticker in 2 seconds and broadcast it, not like the other platforms. Cynthia, you love the new intro. Is it because I spelled your name correctly? It's a long time coming, that one. Wild Irish Rose, how are you doing, little lady? Good to see a girl patriot in the house. Zoomer is with us. Double D, how is it going, my man? Cruising in on the SS Foxhole. Angry Mary, boy, are you in the right place, my dear. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ghost Pepper. Oh, this is gonna be cool. Patriot of Light is with us. Flying Bulldogs. You know what I think? I think we got a lot of Burt Cocaine's people here tonight. Burt Cokaine himself is right there, people. Yes, this is going to be a very, very interesting evening. Zoe returns to his series, his Sunday night series, Behind the Mic. I have a very special guest tonight in one Burt Cocaine. He'll be joining us right at about the half hour, which is about 13 minutes from now. So I better mosey right along. Sigurd, how the heck you doing, buddy? Good to see you. 3 beer men did not send me, said Prairie Fire. And LT57, the first guy in the door. Fellow Harley riding brother. There is Libby right there. And Peggy's right behind her. Boy, the girls were itching to get out this weekend. It was such a beautiful Saturday. Was just gorgeous. 311 Hero, how you doing? It's been a minute. Knock my socks off. What's up, darling? How are you doing? Good to see your smiling face. We got just nothing but the best of the best hanging out over there at Pilled Foxhole. Let's take a peek just for what it's worth. No promises, no guarantees. Let's just see if there's anybody hanging at Twitch, because sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. I'll take a Twitcher if I can find one. I'm always happy to see a Twitcher. Somebody twitching that itch over there. I used to have a name for Twitchers. All right. Well, we're definitely up and running there. There's a beautiful picture showing up at Twitch tonight, so that's great. Where are the champions? I'm talking about the crown wearers themselves. Yes, there they are. Oh my goodness. I turned it on and there is a Ninja Genie staring me in the face. That has to be courtesy of Gloria Paddock. Happy time change, everyone. That's Gloria's wish. Good to see you, Gloria. Thank you so much for your support of this program. Amethyst Cat just gifted a 1-month subscription to Dandy 002, one of my quite frankly friends. Good to see you. And Dandy returned the favor with an ice cream of his own. Amethyst Cat is in the house. P. Dan. Val Kimber is with us. Grand Axel, what is going on? Good to have you aboard. Jayla17. Spudley, of course. That's right. That's right. Zoot Allures. What are you doing, little lady? All the way checking in from Indiana. Artist 61. Steph, how's everything up in the Rust Belt? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, Peggy Dancer. Well, we've got a whole bunch of the sailors who, boy, just a whole Mad Pogue dropped in to say hello to his friends over there. I love it. I love it when people channel hop and go and visit their neighbors. Hardy Hope. I said, hardy, 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 hope. Good to see you. What are you doing? How's everything going? It's good to have you aboard. Good to have you aboard, my friend. Tonight is a Sunday night. If you guys recall the good old days of the mystery ship, Sunday night used to be giveaway night, and it will be again. Yeah, like everyone else, this economy has kind of kicked just about everybody's ass, and my little party last summer across the country, where I ended up in the hospital. I've been paying that off, but I'm putting a nice dent in it, and very soon, people, those prizes that you've come to expect and love, oh boy, what do we got left? I don't have a whole lot left. I used to have a treasure chest in here with all kinds of stuff. I gave away mystery ship hats, and I gave away Mambo mugs, and I gave away things like, all kinds of little mouse pads and just all kinds of whatever you can put a mystery ship logo on. My God, I put them on and I gave it away, from clocks to you name it. Well, those are coming back. Those are coming back. Don't worry. Zoe is finally. I'm getting acclimated to this new Biden economy. It's only taken 3 years, but I'm just about acclimated to where I can start giving away prizes again. Those things are, Anyway, they don't grow on trees. I used to have a mystery ship tree out back. I just go back and pick the prizes off of it. That tree died, so I planted a new one, and it just isn't big enough to start plucking them off yet. But don't worry, they're coming. They're coming. In the meantime, Sunday nights. The other thing about Sunday nights is we used to have a series called Behind the Mic. Now, some of my previous guests on Behind the Mic have been just about all of your Foxhole friends, from 412 and on to Red Pill 78. We've had Frank from Quite Frankly on here. We've had the Kate Awakening. Oh my goodness, you name them, they've probably been on this show. And I'm very excited to bring you tonight another new guest. Let me start a little fanfare about this guy because, Saturday night, I'm laying in bed, kind of tired. I'm kicking around stuff on the Foxhole, just kind of kicking around there are so many new millions of shows on the Foxhole, right? I'm kicking around and I see this one name come up, and I don't recognize it. So, being the curious type, I click on it, and it's this guy named Burt Cokaine. And I came across the most unusual, different, wonderful program I had seen in forever. And I have since watched him, I don't know, 2, 3, or 4 different times. Let me tell you something about this guy. I believe he currently broadcasts, I think, on Pilled Foxhole and D Live. If you are not aware of Burt Cokaine, you will be tonight. Let me just give you a slight idea of what it is that he does, okay? And I'm only scratching the surface. He's like a man of a million voices. He used to be kind of a impersonator. That's one way of putting it. He can cook up a dozen voices, and if you didn't see the person behind the mic, you'd swear there were 12 different people in the room. But he's more than that. Remember the good old days of Comedy Central? There was a show called Mystery Science Theater 3000, where this guy and these 3 robot things would watch these old B movies and just shred them to pieces. He's got a show like that on Saturday nights, which is just, it'll make you wet your pants. It's like, what if Mystery Science Theater 3000 was actually funny, okay? That would be the Burt Cokaine Saturday night show, but that's not all he does. Friday nights, he does this Rambo thing. He does a great Rambo imitation. Sylvester Stallone could hire this guy. It's going to be a very interesting evening. We're going to get to know just who the hell this guy is, and something tells me when we're done talking, you're gonna seek out and look for Burt Cokaine the next time he comes on the air. And when you do, would you be sure and tell him that Zoe sent you? All right? Tell him that Zoe sent you. All right? Now, my guest normally comes on in I got just enough time to do that voodoo that I do, okay? Man, oh man. This is your one chance, people. This is your one chance before the meat of the matter begins for you to take that potty break. You can refresh your drink. You can run outside and have a quick smoke. You can take the dog out in case the dog needs to, do what dogs do with trees or fire hydrants or whatever. This is your chance. This is your chance, because we will be back immediately following this 3-minute video with my guest, Burt Cokaine. You're not going to want to miss it. Take your break. Do that voodoo that you do. We'll be right back after this. Why do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next. right. My guest is waiting in the wings.
And
But
so, my
whoa,
friends,
whoa, whoa.
we're so
Stop
very
that.
happy
Stop that.
that you decide to come out
Son of a
several
bitch.
times a week.
You can never trust me. You can never trust me as a broadcaster. I take the rest of this video to thank the wonderful people who support this program in whatever way it is that you do, whether it's throwing a few gold pills my way or perhaps some of those happy lemons. I'm happy to have them. Happy to have them. Those of you who surprise me even further with PayPal and Cash App, God bless you. But the biggest thing, and this is the truth of it, people, the best way that you can help the show is to just tell a friend about it, okay? That's how all of our little shows grow. That's exactly why I'm having my guest on tonight, because maybe you haven't heard of this guy, but you're going to want to, because by the time we get done tonight, I think your sides are going to be hurting. This is a very funny gentleman. Let me bring him on. Oh, so Burt, I think I explained. First of all, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, beautiful. And we hear and see you perfectly. Let me get you on camera. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is one Burt Cocaine, and I am your brother Zoe. So what I have to do is I have to switch back and forth like this to make it look like a real interview, when the fact is that I'm giving Burt all of my broadband so that we can see his smiling face when he joins us. Burt has a show on, correct me if I'm wrong, Burt, you're on, I know you're on Build Voxel. Are you also on D-Live?
I'm not streaming to D-Live anymore. I can only stream to one platform. I just, that's all the focus I have. You know what I mean? I just...
Dude, you're talking to someone who understands. Okay.
I used to love D-Live, and I have a lot of friends that, you know, people are very platform loyal, so they won't come over. But yeah, I got a lot of friends over there. I did like D-Live, the people on the platform, but I love Build.
Pilled
I wouldn't trade anything.
Dude, it is the home of free speech in America. I've been saying that for a couple of years now. You can really be yourself on Pilled. Is that not the truth?
Not just you could be yourself. It's you can express yourself in a lot of places, but a lot of places aren't following the letter of the law. And it's nice to see a place that actually not only just about free speech, but they understand the law too, and that's important. That's important. It's you know it's good for people to be on a place that you can, not only can you express yourself, but it's within the confines. Nobody's going to come after you. You know what I mean? It's not like those other places where there's some way they can get you. No, it's not like that.
You
are open. You are.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, my man. You just said a mouthful, and that's a fact. It's I have been asked to leave a couple of other platforms. I've had people jump in right in the middle of my show. I'm not talking mods. I'm talking about platform mods. People from these entities saying you can't do what you're doing right now, and it's really weird to see, someone named Mr. D Live check in and say you're going over the line, so. So that's what's great about Pilled Foxhole is we can let our hair down, be ourselves, and not worry about a thing. And unless I'm really mistaken, you are doing just that over there. You're. Oh yeah. You are.
I'm letting my hair down, all right.
So, folks, if you haven't, I briefly give you a short synopsis of the things I have experienced. I've only seen his show 2 or 3 times, well, maybe 4 times. The most unusual thing, Burt, I want to. We're going to talk about your show. Clearly, we're going to talk about your show. But what I like doing with my program, it's called Behind the Mic for a reason, because I like to get to know the person that's put, something drove this creator to push the boundaries that they're currently pushing. And my friend, I told you, the first time I saw your show, you have the most unique and unusual show I have ever seen. What's your broadcast background? What made you want to reach out to the public and be a persona?
Oh, when I was young, I wanted to act. I didn't know, Hollywood, but I wanted to act. Probably not the drama club kid or whatever that you would expect, but I liked being in front of people. Not a class clown, but I like performing. I liked it because it was something I could excel at really well. And it gave me individuality. It's not like in sports where you're part of a team. When you're acting, it's you, and it's really all individually driven. So I got into stage acting when I lived in Germany. My parents were military. My whole family's military going back forever. And I got into stage acting in Germany and absolutely just loved it. Loved it. Come back to the States, did some Shakespeare in the Park stuff, and nothing for school or anything like that. But yeah, it's so much fun.
Well,
and you just get enveloped in this place.
Before we get too deep into your other, let's just hit on your family for a minute. Are your mom and dad, are they still around? Do you have brothers and sisters? Where did you grow up? I mean, I know you mentioned you were out of the country, but when you were here in the U.S., where did you grow up?
Everywhere. Was born in Orlando, Naval Hospital. Mom was in the Navy. And my grandfather and a lot of the family lived right there in Central Florida. Horse farmers, fishermen, stuff like that. Horse ranchers. I say farmers. I'm
beautiful place.
Off my game, but absolutely beautiful. Central Florida is not like anywhere else in Florida. People think Florida, they think flat and palm trees. This is rolling hills, horses everywhere. It's beautiful. But I lived everywhere. I just lived everywhere. Everybody in my family was military, and I literally mean every. It's like Lieutenant Dan's from Forrest Gump, except all my relatives did not die; they lived.
You're a real life Lieutenant Dan. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister. She lives in Philadelphia. We don't talk too often, but no problems or anything. We just don't talk very often.
How about mom and dad? Are they still with us, or?
No, unfortunately, my biological father was a slut. So I never actually got to meet him. So it was really weird when he passed this year. I have really weird feelings about it. So because I don't know the guy, but after 50 years, I find out. Oh yeah, So it's a weird place.
I go here, there, and everywhere with my guests. So my friend, if I touch upon a tender subject,
no, it's okay. It's just one of those weird things. It happened last summer, and I get the information. I'm like, how am I supposed to feel? It just really is very weird spot. I want to feel sad, but I don't know the guy at all.
Understood. What about is your mom isn't around anymore either?
No.
I'm sorry to hear
everybody's that. Not everybody. I've got cousins here where I live at in Kansas. I've got tons of cousins, and my aunt and uncles are here, and a bunch of people here, a bunch of people back home in Florida, a bunch of people in Georgia. The Allens and the Embrys, they're all over the place. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I love.
They are everywhere.
I am in the same boat, my friend. I've got family hither and yon. I mean, for my goodness, New Mexico, Jersey, Florida, Tennessee, L.A. I've got family freaking Maine. I just saw my cousin in Maine for the first time in 40 years, man, and it was fantastic. It's good being able to go and visit family when the opportunity presents itself. If the opportunity presents itself, man, it's freaking cool. So, you were born in Orlando.
It's something I miss. Yeah, it's something I miss about my family, especially my grandfather. He was sort of the patriarchal force, like everything gravitated around him. That's where all the big family reunions were, and those were held once a year, and thousands of people show up for that from all over. And when he passed, all that disappeared. Like that linchpin of the family was pulled, and then there's no more of those reunions. Like all those times are gone, and it's
as long as you got good memories, man. That is truthfully that's something you can take with you.
That I collected a lot of in my life is a lot of good memories.
I right there with you. In my family, my father was the glue that held the family together, and he passed away 26 years ago, and it not only rocked my world, but it's just things were just never were the same after that. So like we just kind of kicked around. there's wonderful memories that I'll never forget. And anymore, I find my brother and I find ourselves just laughing about silly little things when we used to think my dad was off his rocker. Here we are 30, 40 years later saying, son of a gun, man, that guy was right as rain. Probably, I'm sure, I'll bet you anything. You could tell us that your grandfather instilled a few things in you that you still stand by to this day. Am I right?
Yeah, a lot of times it was his foot in my ass. I learned don't ever underestimate. I learned some don't ever first like real lifelong. You're gonna remember this forever, boy. Was don't think that old man, 50-year-old man, can't run in his underwear and cowboy boots on one foot and chase you and kick you in the ass with the other one all the way down the road as fast as your little track running ass. Oh, you ran track in school? That don't matter. Foot in your ass all the way down the road.
That is
so that was,
dude. My dad
and he was,
dude. There must have been something about that in that generation because I shit you not, dude. My dad's favorite. I think that they, those 1940s, 1950s kind of guys, the very height of rudeness was to hop someone in the ass with their foot. And this one time, I think I was 14, 15, my dad, he hauled off to kick me in the ass, and he wanted to he reared back. He was going to give me the full leg, and I just kind of stood up, and I moved my butt forward, and just enough for him to miss me, and he kicked so hard he flipped over backwards, and then he got up and started chasing me around the yard, and I could see my brother. His eyes were about this big.
Yeah, that just made him even madder.
My brother's going, run, Al, run, and what am I going to do? Eventually,
he's gonna kill you.
I gotta let him catch me eventually. The old foot.
You gotta eat sometime, boy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, what it was is the game. Okay, I don't remember the game that Theismann's leg broke. It was Redskins versus Oakland, I believe. It was like 1982 or 83. That game where Theismann got his leg broke. Me and my grandfather were going to watch the game, and instead, like before that happened, he turned to me and said, "All right, go muck the stalls. Got 40 horses, 10 mules, and like a slew of pigs. It's like that's 5 hours worth of work. I thought we were watching the game. No, you're mucking stalls." So when I turned the corner, I like turned around real fast and didn't think, and he was standing right there. He was standing right there. I went to running, and I found out he could go downstairs on one foot and kick. He could turn on one foot and kick.
I love it.
He could run really fast on one foot and kick me with the other one. That was don't ever underestimate some 50-something-year-old man when you're young, because he might just wear you out.
I think I'm starting to understand where your gumption comes from. Let's talk a little bit about your broadcasting career. You blew me away. I mean, we did have a little chat with ourselves before the show started, and you had a job in Atlanta at a radio station where you were the man of 1,000 voices.
Savannah, not Atlanta.
Savannah.
Not Atlanta. We did reach to the Atlanta market, and that was pretty cool. Small station out of Savannah, Z102, back in the late 90s. I had made friends with a couple DJs there. I like. I love music, all kinds of music, but I really love like the old independent rock stations.
Sure.
And that were playing all the, the B-sides. A lot of their DJs had the ability to play a lot of stuff that, now that Clear Channel's taking it all over, which was also the demise of me working in radio too. But I had made friends with these DJs at C102, and one day I just wanted to call in and request a song. And I happened to call in, and DJ that night was Trip West, and he goes, "Hey, congratulations, you're caller number 10." And I said, "Trip, it's Burt. I'm just calling to request a song." He said, "Oh, okay, never mind. Listen," I said, "What's the contest anyway?" I had no idea. He says, "Well, WCW Monday Night Nitro's coming to town, and we have a fake wrestler challenge. If you could challenge this fake wrestler Spike, you win 4 backstage tickets to Monday Night Nitro." So I said, no problem, brother. Let me get on here and give you the Nacho Man, Randy Spandex. Yeah, let me tell you something. And I just went on my thing, and they were like, you won. You won. You
Oh,
won.
that is
Just come down to the station, dude. Just come down. And they still had another month, like before this.
Yeah.
So there was people calling in late for a whole month, multiple times a day, and I had already won the tickets. It was so, yeah, it was
What's
so
great about that
underhanded.
is you
But
could,
anyway,
you could literally call in with a different voice every time and win over and over again.
yeah, yeah, all the time. I'll tell you another. You want to hear a story about a voice? I'll tell you one when I was still over on D Live. It's just great. But I go down to the station to get my tickets. I'm just hanging out talking to Trip West and Kelly, and the guy who owns the station was a guy named Steve Marcosi. He came in for a business meeting with people from an old website called Cupid.com, and I was sitting there for a second, and I was doing this old black man voice, and the lady goes, and it was really deep, and the lady goes, "Can you? Does he work here?" And Steve was, no, he's here, and Trip told him what I was there for, and she said, "Can you say, hey baby, come on baby, hey baby, come on, just say it over and over?" I said, "Sure." And about that time, Steve stopped him, and Trip had told him, like he had taken him off the sides. This guy calls in all the time, does all these voices. And before he let me like agree to it, he said, "I'd like to hire you as a paid intern." I said, "Sure." So he said, "Okay, now you can talk to her."
That is awesome.
I went out on the radio. You guys might remember the commercial. Ran from like 97 to 99. It went, "Hey, ladies, are you tired of guys that sound like this? Hey, baby, come on, baby. Hey, baby, come on, baby. Hey, baby." That guy that's me. That's me. That's my voice. That's my voice.
Oh, that is.
And it went out in syndication all over America. I was paid. I was paid. And Steve gave me the cut. I know he was getting everything from that, but I got a job out of it.
Dude, that's exactly the experience.
Was,
you can't pay for that
yeah,
kind of experience, man.
No, you can't. Like, luck is weird, man. Luck is really weird. Like, there's a lot of people that will put in years of dedication and not get there. And I've even seen that myself. I put in years into things, and it's for naught sometimes. And then there's these other times where no planning, just on a whim, these opportunities are unlocked, and it's kind of just, you got to go for it. You're never going to win the lottery if you never play kind of aspect. But life isn't the lottery, and it is at the same time. So I never kind of shied away from an opportunity. I ended up working there at Z102 for a couple years, and we were about to go big, and in '98, and one day we show up, and the doors are locked, and Steve Marcosi had sold the radio station overnight.
And
told no one. He sold it to Clear Channel. Nobody knew.
And
everybody went their own direction. It was crazy.
There went your ticket to fame and fortune. I get it. I am also.
I wouldn't even worry like fame and fortune. I got to meet Peter Steele, John Davis. Everybody came through the studio. We met. I mean, they were just always in there. If there was going to be a show that was playing at the Civic Center, Z102 and I-95 definitely would do interviews with whatever band if they were able. But Z102 was a little more edgy, a little more hard rock.
Yeah.
So and metal. So we got the better shows. I've been in the room with Phil Anselmo and Dimebag before he was dead. I got to shake his hand. I didn't get to interview the guy. But I mean, so many guys came through that I did get to interview Peter Steele, and that was one of the I'll talk about that shit forever.
I love it. I think when you and I first chatted on the phone, I explained to you that much like what you're talking about right there, be in the right place at the right time. I got a job as a paid intern on a television show, a nationally syndicated television show out of Hollywood. And, after like 5-6 months, somebody turned to me one day and said, who are you? Do you work for this show? And I said, no, I work for this lady over here. Well, we're hiring. How would you like a job on the show? And I'm like, you mean with my name on the credits? And they're like, well, yeah. And dude, I was like, next thing you know, I'm the guy doing the recording of all the voiceovers. Okay, I got 3/4-inch tapes, and I'm recording. Okay, today we got Little Richard coming in. You got an interview. Oh yeah, later on this afternoon we're going to have the voices of Rocky and Bullwinkle come in, and you're going to have to record. Dude, so I mean, I'm having the time. I'm meeting people left and right that you close your eyes and you can hear Rocky and Bullwinkle, and you open your eyes and it's this old man and this old woman. I mean, it was just the craziest, wildest stuff. So I want to know, when did you decide to do a broadcast? What was the impetus that made you say, "Damn it, I need to get back in front of the public"? When was that?
All right. So I was watching. I hate TV. I love old cheesy movies. So I got into watching online content on YouTube, and then found out about streaming from Salty Cracker. I found out about DLive, and this was like 2019. So I started watching, and in 2020 I got more talkative with the community, more involved with talking to people, and then got into the community on Telegram. And I'm like looking at some of the content out there, and I said I could do that.
Yeah.
And it looks like fun, and everybody liked talking to me. I'm already a notorious comment artist on YouTube anyway, so why not just start, talking? And that's what I did. I started showing cheesy movies over on DLive. DLive did not like that, no matter how within the bounds of fair use I was.
Right.
They weren't having it, because it was, I think a lot of it was due to some of the content you got, remember, as a Chinese platform, there's a lot of things they don't like to see on screen that could go in front of their Chinese viewing audience. They don't like that. So they didn't care. They eventually just pissed me off so bad that I didn't want to come back. And then Ames Memes and Mike Maven were all telling me, Pilled. Everybody was wanting me over here on Pilled and get back to streaming. So I came over at the end of 2022, and for the first 6 months, I didn't know really. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go. I sometimes I'm making music, sometimes I just chat, sometimes we deep dive, and there was no real consistency in what I was doing. But what I noticed is what everybody seemed to like was when we just make fun of, movies.
Yeah.
So when I came back over the summer, it was clear that what I was going to do was Burt's badass movies, and the ass is in parentheses because it might be badass, but they might also just be bad movies.
Well,
and
dude,
that's what we've been doing.
That is the very first night that I tuned into your show. It was a Saturday night, and you were just tearing apart these terrible movies. I mean, B movies, C movies, but the way you did it, you tore them apart with class. And I'm laying in bed, and I didn't want to wake the old lady. I'm laughing into my pillow because my sides are this. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? This guy is freaking wacky. So I had to come back for more.
When you came in, was I doing Busty Rhodes when you came when you first came in the stream?
I know that it was
I have the wig and the glasses and all that.
No, not that
Okay.
time. But you were, dude. You were I don't know. It was some kind of cartoon movie, and you were. It was funnier than hell. It was funnier than hell. Tell me, what is the Rambo thing you do? I wish I had pulled up some clips. I really wish I had pulled up some clips. What is the Rambo thing that you do on Fridays? This is like your bread and butter, is it not?
It's a whole kind of long process to. Okay. Rambo's going to end up being a ClickFunnels TikTok campaign to both generate revenue and get people from, that need the Pilled information.
Right.
But how are they going to find Pilled if there's nobody on their platform? So that's what TikTok and Rambo's all about. But the way it started here on Pilled was last year in the spring, we were watching a movie called Prophecy. It's an old movie about a mutant bear, and anyway, it has Talia Shire, who is Adrian from Rocky.
Oh yeah.
And I was making fun of her character, the relationship he has with her husband, and then remembering how her relationship, air quotes, went with Rocky. And I reminded people that Rocky sexually assaulted Adrian. It was What do you mean? I said, let's go look at the scene where he first dates Adrian. It is not a love story. This is a violent felony. And so in the middle of the movie, I just stopped it so I could do the Rocky retrospect. Is just using this voice here. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just using the Rocky voice, and everybody was like, we love the voice.
Yeah.
You sound like Rocky, but an exaggerated form. But we turned it into Rambo because it's kind of the same thing,
Right.
just a little less Philadelphia. And then
It's like Rambo Red Pills America. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Rambo Red Pills America. That's beautiful.
Oh.
But I started thinking, I need a staple. I need something of my own, and to expect it every time. Just something. And Rambo reviews, Rambo radio, Rambo reports, all these Rambo offshoots, Rambo reviews. It was the first because it's both. It's both aspects. It's that character, cosplay. Just I'm going to lose myself in this character real quick. I'm gone, my friend. And really, Burt, I just throw Burt out
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're not here. And it's kind of, and I noticed it when people come in the chat and I go, hey, Burt's not here right now. He's on sabbatical or something. The guy's joining the seminary. He let me run the show.
Dude, I'm telling you, whatever it is, whatever you eat on Friday night that turns you into him, don't change it because your Friday night show is it is fucking funny. It is freaking funny. I want to ask you a little bit about your musical taste. Are you a musician of any kind? Because I'm really intrigued by the different kind of what do you play? Where did you learn how to play? What kind of instrument do you play?
Okay, I know it doesn't sound like it right now. People who have been following me a long time knows this is not what I sound like. I have lost like 2 octaves in up and an octave down. My voice has just been destroyed recently. I'm on steroids to possibly, to hope that it repairs itself, but it's not like it was. Anyway, I was a percussionist and a vocalist, and I got into when I was a teenager. I got into more metal vocals. It's a lot harder than you think with it, to do it and not be spitting up blood later on.
Yes.
And just have your stuff torn to pieces. That's not what did it. I got a black mold exposure a couple of years ago that did serious damage.
Oh.
And I think I may have had some exposure again recently, and it reflared up. The same exact thing happened in 2022 before I left Savannah. Same exact thing. Did the same exact thing. I thought I was sick here recently, but nothing has made it come back. And then I'm thinking, but I have been around some molded material doing some demolition. So there's a possibility I was exposed and it just had that immediate similar response. But percussion and vocals, I've been playing drums since I was, 8.
Wow.
I was in Suncoast Sound when I was in high school at Northeast High in St. Petersburg, which is one of the world's premier drum and bugle corps. We played for Reagan. We've at Epcot Center back in '88.
Wow.
I love music, and my musical taste is everything. Everything.
That is exactly what I was going to get at, because one of the other nights that I tuned into your show, and it's strange. There's a lot of the people here tonight on Pilled Foxhole who were there in your chat that night, and you played. If people called in and typed in a request, man, you made it happen. And you were literally, I do a music show, and I know how to do a fairly successful music show. Dude, your music show was so cool. You were all over the place. You turned me on to a couple of groups that I gotta say, previously I had heard of them, but I didn't really know who they were. Like Typo Negative, Now I'm like playing that in my truck, and I'm like, what the? I got to hang out with this guy more, dude. Where did you get that varied taste in music? Because you are literally all over the place.
Well, like and I mean it's really all over the place. I'll listen to the hardest hard, and then give me some Pavarotti, give me the Boston Pops, give me just something that's original. I don't like followers in music. Okay,
Right.
it doesn't matter what the genre is. If I don't want the follower. I want the guys who innovate. It doesn't matter if it's good, it's good. If it sounds good, it's good. It really doesn't matter.
Wow.
But
I mean, dude, you're literally all over the place, all freaking over the place
yeah.
with the.
I love clowncore. Project Blue Beam talking about clowncore. I think I introduced a bunch of people to two dudes in monster clown masks making insane music in a porta john. And they're some of the best musicians ever. It's a guy on the saxophone, another guy on the drums who's also singing and playing a keyboard at the same time. His name is Louis Coley, premier percussionist.
Wow.
There's so much good music out there. Like I hear a lot of people like the music today is just it's not like it used to be. No, the shit that's on the radio, the shit that is mass available is generally garbage and filled with programming. But there are so many people. There's more bands now, right now, existing today.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to take the amount of bands now, there's more bands now than in all previous history combined.
Absolutely.
Right now.
There are some
and
great...
that have access to you, you know?
Yes. I mean, if you just screw around on YouTube even, you can find bands that you have never heard of who are playing some really, really great music. On
Really
Friday nights for me, I do a show with a fellow broadcaster. His name is the Texan. And this guy, man, I don't know where he finds them, but this guy seeks out and finds some of the best talent, a great artist, really talented, really great music. And you've never heard of these people, never freaking heard of them. And like you say, they're out there. The mainstream stuff is just it. I'm sorry, man. It's formulated. He played a thing last night that made us, or a couple nights ago. That have you heard this thing? Oh man, I'm sure you're going to get a laugh out of it. It is. I don't know these girls. I don't know these people. Beyonce. Have you heard that she did a country song? Are you aware of this? Beyonce, Jay-Z's old lady.
I wish I wish I had never heard that information.
I'm telling dude, this is the worst piece of crap song I have ever heard. It is so formulated and garbage that dude, I mean, it just reinforces what you and I were just talking about. It's the stuff out there commercially available it's enough to make you puke. Hey, I want to ask you about.
That is a good thing about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I want to ask you about your time in Germany because I would love. I lived in
Germany.
How long were you there?
Best time to live in Germany. I lived there at 84 and 85. Came back in the beginning of 86 before all the Chernobyl stuff happened in Ukraine. Then went back at the end of 88 and stayed till the beginning of 91.
Wow.
I was there when the wall came down.
Wow.
There was this. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was there when it came down. Almost for 3 weeks straight. We were going back and forth. We stayed there for a few nights there in when everything was going on in mid-November. And a lot of people have like some misconstrued reasons, like what did it symbolize? Was it symbolic? There really was no symbology in taking the wall down. Part of the treaties said that you could not view over the wall with a camera. All right. And when they were having the refugees trying to escape, there was a lot of stuff going on the other side of the wall that they didn't want you to see. So, but you couldn't, and all the news networks were there. Dan Rather was there, Mike Duck, they were all there. They couldn't lift their cameras up. So somebody took you know what I'm saying? It's a jackhammer. Yeah. And they punched a hole in, and somebody walked up there with a camera, and you should have seen those red soldiers on the other side were real quick to put their pistols down and start walking away. And that's when a bunch of construction people were like, get the concrete saws. And they got a front end loader out there, and they started dismantling the wall so that the camera people could show the world what was going on the other side of that wall.
Wow. You
It
know
was
what?
crazy.
You know what would be cool would be to to just have a chunk of that wall. Did you grab one by
I
chance?
do. Yeah, I do. I
You
do have a chunk of the
you
wall.
have a piece of the Berlin Wall?
Yep.
Wow.
Got a lot of pieces of Berlin Wall,
Dude, no,
because
I'm saying that would
we
be
were taking it and
yeah.
throwing it. We were up on the wall. The
Yeah.
pictures that you see in the newspapers of people on the wall, that's a hand. There's only a handful of Americans that were there. I knew a lot of German people, so they were like, "Dude, there's something going on in Berlin. Come on, let's go." So I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Me and my buddy Trash and his sister, we took off. The reason we all got pieces of the wall was because they were chipping it off on the
Yeah.
one side, handing it to us so he could throw it at people, so he could throw it at the soldiers. 'Cause I'm serious,
Wow.
they were walking up shooting people in the back, man.
Oh
It was
wow.
crazy, and nobody. We were like telling the camera people, "Look at this," and they couldn't. They couldn't do nothing because you could fire on them. If they had a camera, you could be fired upon
Oh my.
because it's like, yeah, crazy, man.
So you know
They
what?
used to fire like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I never got over. I never saw the Berlin Wall, but I talked to people who live there, and they told me stories like the building of the Berlin Wall was the most unusual. It would just go right through these neighborhoods, and it would like dead end into a house, and then pick up on the other side of the house, and go around the corner and run into the side of a industrial building, and it's just like it was. They threw it up
Yep.
so fast. It was like, dude. They didn't want the ideology to spread from one, I mean, oh, wow, it is, when that thing came down, it was, dude, that was a big moment for all of us. I mean, for the world. And you were freaking, dude, I cannot get over that. You were there when the Berlin Wall fell. When I was a kid, there used to be a show on TV when I was young. It was called Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. And Dan Rowan and Dick Martin.
Laugh-In.
Yeah. And I mean, Goldie Hawn came out of that show when she was just a young kid. She was one of the go-go dancers and shit. But they used to have this make-believe segment called News of the Future. And you wouldn't believe how many of the things that they said in their News of the Future actually came to pass, and one of them was the taking down of the Berlin Wall. So I gotta ask, dude, when the wall came down, did you guys after that, in the period after that, did you get to hang and talk to people on the other side who previously were verboten? Did you become friends with anybody on the east side?
The only people that Okay, so East Germans did not leave East Germany. We had an influx of Turkish people, Ukrainian people, Lithuanians, Latvians, all people trying to escape the pre-dissolvement of the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
because it's going to get bad, and they saw the writing on the wall. They were trying to get their kids out, their grandkids. These people knew real communism, not this college communism that has. That's why they were okay with the wall coming down. That's why there were no shots fired. Nobody gave a shit, because they had already infiltrated the minds of college students that were going to graduate college with no skills, so they could go right back and become college professors and teach more. Then you have 2 generations of reinforcement. You've all heard it before. That's all you need, and you've destabilized a society.
Wow.
So that's why they really didn't give a damn, and they didn't. They want to have one last, scare the shit out of what people are going to stay.
Right.
But not very many East Germans came across. They were in,
Well,
they just enjoyed the new economy.
I'm just curious how many West Germans went over into East Germany to see
we
what
did that all
it
the
was
time
like.
anyway. They did that all the time. They did it all the time anyway. Like meeting East German people and West Germans, no big deal. You just got followed by,
Guys in black coats.
Gestapo, but yeah, you got followed by the KGB a lot less when you were in West Germany, which doesn't mean they're still not there following you, because you got somebody following you, somebody out of the Red Army. In fact, like as American kids, especially if you had, my family was all nuke people. They were all nuke specialists, nuke strategists, nuke theorists, nuclear warfare engagement specialists, tactical contingency.
Wow.
That's what they did. And my mom worked for Schwarzkopf back in the day at Fort Stewart. And So the the fear for a kid like that, okay, that kind of dependent is if I got snatched up, what would my parents, what kind of information could they give?
Right.
So kids like me always had people following them somewhere. In '85 at Holiday Park, there was an attack. And before I was able to look and see what the attack was, there was a bag on our head. We were in a van. And we were being told,
And you
calm
were
down,
go-
everything's
yeah.
okay, we're taking you to your parents.
Keep your head down.
That
We're
fast.
bringing you to
It's
safety.
like,
Wow.
yeah. Somebody pulled a bullshit grenade at Holiday Park in '85. It was a small bang. I think he died. And before I mean, seriously, they kept all of us kind of together. You know what I'm saying? That way if something happens, you're gone. But yeah,
That's
it
wild.
was made real aware to me at 12 years
Right.
old that, there's people everywhere and you never really know who really is who.
Wow. I mean,
They don't all have wires.
That is
It's interesting.
wildly interesting to me. I mean, seriously, fascinating stuff. So I'm a little curious about I want to learn just a little bit more about you. You said that in probably your I'm guessing early 20s and stuff. You were in Savannah. You're now in Kansas, but you mentioned that you lived other places. Did you tell me New
Oh,
York
yeah.
and a couple of where all have you lived in the U.S.? So you traveled around a little bit?
Okay, so lived. Lived in Florida, lived in Georgia, lived in Tennessee, lived in Kansas, Texas, Missouri, lived in Cali, lived in Arizona,
Wow.
lived in Germany, but visited
Yeah.
visited the list. I can't even visited, especially when I was a military kid in Germany. You could take these really, as a dependent back in the day, I could get a flight to anywhere that a military flight was going, as long as it wasn't into certain designated places, like
Right.
something that secret, war zone, da da da.
Someplace you
So
shouldn't go.
we would take flights back to the States. We would take flights to here. We'd take flights to Okinawa. We'd take flights to Korea. We'd take flights.
Wow.
Just let's go to England. Yeah, and it's $10. That's all it was $10. Of course, you're
Wow.
sitting backwards on either a C-151 or a C-5, and it's got very cold feet. But
But it's a free freaking
You know,
ride to it. Wow.
that's $10. Now,
Wow.
here's the problem. Whenever you get to where you're going, there's no guarantee that there's going to be a flight back to where you came from when you think there is. So
When you'd like to
you
go
kind of
back
just
home.
bounce it around. And they
Right.
call it a hop. You're just kind of hopping.
So sometimes you might have to go from, let's say you wanted to go to Britain and you got to Britain. You might have to go from there to Italy and then finally back to Germany or wherever.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of times you don't get to visit the place that you went because you're running, You think a regular airport is bullshit. A military run ship,
Is a
the
nightmare.
Air Force does it a little different. You better run. You better be there.
Wow.
But they keep a tight schedule. But it was a lot of fun, man. I mean, I love being a military dependent.
All right. So
And,
this
to
is
see
where
everything.
I get into finding out about the man himself. Tell me, what was the first job you had where you took home a paycheck every week? What did you do
Ooh,
for a living when
I-
you came of age?
It was over in Germany, and I worked. The military has a program for dependents called Summer Hire, and I got a job at the rec center, and I was making and helping put together armor for the Renaissance fairs that they would have. So I got really into that. I liked art anyway, and this was like, I didn't paint back then, but this was building, armor and stuff like that,
Wow.
and weapons, and seeing these cool swords and the authentic armor and blacksmiths and everything that goes along with it, and all the really nice smells of horse shit everywhere, and beer
Yep.
is awesome. Mead, lots of mead too.
And
And then it was over in Germany, so there's no legal drinking age back then. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
were tall enough, you could drink. I was going in clubs when I was 14, no problem, because I was 6 foot already at 14.
Oh, wow.
So I was hanging out in the clubs
when,
all the time.
when you were traveling all over the U.S. and all that kind of jazz, what other jobs have you done? You mentioned you worked at a radio station. What What other things
Right
have you
after
done
the
in your
radio
life?
station, after I worked at Z102, a buddy of mine that I was in the army with, he was still there in Savannah, and he was roofing, and he said, you should roof, and there's good money in it as long as you don't smoke crack. So I was like, okay. And I had no fear of heights, no fear of pitch. No, I was strong as an ox, and I had no
Oh yeah.
problem with the sun. So I ended up roofing for the next 25 years. That's what I ended up doing. And commercial, residential, industrial retrofit. I've roofed all over the United States. And I didn't smoke crack, so it was really good money for a long time. Then I fell a few years back, broke my back, and blew discs, and the job that I had trained myself to do that was great. I can't do it. So, have made the full commitment now to stream and be
Yeah.
in entertainment on my own terms. Nobody dictating what I do, when I do anything. It's on my terms and on the viewers.
Yeah.
Based upon their interaction. If they like what I'm doing, I know it. I know when they like it.
Yeah. Dude, I have to say, I mean, I just want to touch on this for a minute because, there's a lot of interesting trades out there, a lot of different things that people could do for a living. Roofing is, it's a lot more than just slapping down shingles. All right. To those people watching in the audience, I've got a buddy who's, he watches on Twitch sometimes. I doubt seriously he's here, but oh my goodness, he's in the chat tonight. It's my buddy Matty F&B. He's a guy out of just outside of Philly. This guy is a big time roofer, like a third generation. He specializes. I mean, he could do anything, probably much like you, but his specialties are things like copper.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those Belvederes and the
I
freaking.
I worked. I can also say I worked at Metalcraft back in 2001 out of Savannah, and we got to redo all the copper on the St. John's Cathedral there in Savannah, which is an extremely beautiful building. And if you were to look at the spires on it,
Yeah.
you'd see our retrofitted copper work. The bell tower that the bell is in, it has a huge copper tonal reflector to reflect the bell's sound back properly. We did that. We did all the slate on that building. I've done some really interesting work. I'm proud of the work I've done, and I've done a lot of copper.
Dude, I mean,
Just
I find
thousands
that,
of square foot of that shit, hundreds of thousands maybe.
I find that particularly interesting. I mean, because I work in construction. I've done all kinds of roofs out there, but the copper where they solder it, you got that gun going all day long. That and the it's just such a to me that is a that's like the Rolls Royce of roofing. When you got a guy who can when you can bend metal into just crazy shapes and then waterproof it, solder it, and it's so bitchin'. And then when it patinas out, man, I mean that is an art form. To me, that is art. The closest thing to art, if there is art in construction. And you know how to do that, huh?
And we could see that's one of the things in Savannah. You have a historic preservation committee downtown, and I got lucky in having a friend who was he had a degree in historic preservation and restoration. So we were able to lock down clients that owned landmark homes in Savannah. And we just did work for those clients,
Right.
like keeping their place maintenance. We had all the skill to keep it, period accurate, the skills and the techniques. And there's a lot of copper down there that people don't want to see their nice patinaed copper and then this one piece be,
Shiny.
nice. So you have to pre-oxidize
Yeah.
stuff. And my buddy even was impressed at me. I was doing a piece of copper gutter. It's about 40 feet in the air. It's a 4-story building, brownstone building. And we didn't have a 44-foot ladder to get up there. So I went through the roof, tied myself to a chimney, and then was hanging off the roof with using my body and leaning over. And he's watching from the ground like, you're insane. I'm like, and then I told him stories about some of the copper roofs I was doing. And he was like, why would you do that? I said, for $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
And what the story I told him was in Hawkinsville, Georgia, in 2000, we did, this is also from Metalcraft, we did the Grand Old Opera House, which the way the roof on this opera house goes is you have 60-foot sides, then the roof line starts. There's built-in gutter.
Holy.
Then it's on an 1812, so it's about 40 degrees for another 80 feet. Now, these are panels. So they're 14 inches wide panels. They're 80 feet long, and they're on this of a pitch. So they have about a 2-inch rib. Here's how you move around on it. I'm tied to a rope, and I've got 2 pair of vice grips. And as I'm folding these lips over, I'm standing on vice grips clamped to the ribs. And I would go up by moving those vice grips and single and double lock the panels.
That is just that, dude. That is insane. I mean,
it's insane.
Yeah,
$1,000 a day though. I'll do it.
I've sheeted houses. We built it was an exact copy of a French chateau that this guy and filthy rich couple they owned in France. They came over here to Oregon, of all places, and wanted to recreate their French home here in the U.S. Dude, the pitch on it was exactly, it was 1812, and then I had to marry their 1212 roof into that 18. Dude, when you're standing on a freaking, we had those little cheaters, you drive a nail in, and it's a little hook that you can at least put a 2x6 on, so you have something to stand on.
Right.
But your life is dependent upon the head of a nail. Okay, that's
roof jacks.
Yeah, and dude, it was so steep I could just like lean against it, and I'm standing straight up. It was and you look straight down, and it's like 35 freaking feet down, and I'm like, oh god, no safety harnesses.
The worst roofing I ever experienced. I worked for a company called MRC out of St. Petersburg, metal roofing contractors. I was an independent subcontractor, and in 2005 they said, we've got a industrial retrofit job on a 12-story hotel in Grand Cayman Island. Would you like to be a part of the job? Sure, you get per diem. It's gonna pay $670 for every square, which is 100 square feet. So I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And then the second day we were there, Hurricane Wilma hit.
Oh.
For the next 7 days.
Oh my Lord!
Category 5 hurricane on us for 6 days and 7.
There went that.
We couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't go anywhere. We were stuck.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
they didn't know if it was going to hit, and then when it hit, it just stayed there. It just stayed right over this little tiny speck, just beating us to death.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. It was horrible. It was terrifying. I mean, the building shook 24 hours a day for a week.
You're no longer thinking about the job. You're wondering, am I going to get to go home? Holy crap.
We're going to get are we going to make it? The first 2 stories were completely flooded. There was no electricity.
Oh, shit.
The place was just, it was like 160 mile an hour wind for a week straight.
Yeah.
This thing just sat in the eye wall, not the eye wall. It just sat in the worst place to be in a Gulf storm. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
I have a thing about the Caribbean. I mean, dude, anywhere from Cancun going to the east, man. My dream is to rent one of those sailor ships, a Cutty Sark or something like that. Find one where I can bring 20 or 30 people who watch this show and just go out for a week and if there apparently you can work these deals where you work on the boat, you unfurl the sails, you might have to cook dinner or whatever, little KP. Dude, that's my dream, is to sail the Caribbean in a real, an old schooner of some kind. Oh my God. Have you spent any time in the Caribbean? Other than that moment?
No.
Yeah, that was your.
No, that was good. I was real good with that. That was pretty much all I needed.
I was in. I got in. I got him. I'm good. No, I get it.
Now, me and my grandfather, I will say this. He had a 60-foot commercial lobster boat that he turned into a commercial fishing boat that he never ever chartered out. a charter fishing boat, and he never chartered out. But he was always catching square grouper there in the early '80s, which I wondered how he bought all that acreage. But yeah, everybody in Central Florida back then had a barn with two sets of doors, a big one at the bottom and a small one at the top. That you open them both up and you can fly your drug plane. Everybody in Central Florida did it. There was no way you were telling a poor dirt farmer or some guy out there that he wasn't going to make $100,000 for 2 hours worth. No, you're not convincing him that of 1981. It was never going to happen. So everybody out there got some of that money, but he would take me on a boat for 8, 9, 10 days at a time. We'd go all over the place. It was wonderful.
You ever, I mean, that's one of the things I wanted to ask is when you were growing up in Florida there, did you ever spend any time in the water? Did you ever do any scuba diving?
That's all you do.
Yeah, that's all you do.
That's all you do. That's all you do. You're river. See, in Central Florida, you're not rednecks. You're river rats.
Yeah.
You could be in the cactus dirt desert looking terrain one moment, then be in some Kentucky hill country with blackjack trees one moment, and then be in a river with manatees, sharks, alligators, all at the same time, mind you, and snapping turtles, giant soft-shelled turtles. I swear, everybody thinks snapping turtles huge. Soft-shelled turtles have fucking shells this big and necks that get that long too. They'll bite the shit out of you.
They'll take your hand off.
It's just all kind of stuff. It's an unbelievable place to have spent, your youth, and you just think it's normal. Like there's a couple other people from the exact same place I'm from on the website. Stuck in New York is from where I'm from, and we talk about stuff that only we know about. It's so niche, and you have to know to know what the KP hole is, know where the Bat Cave is, know where what the Rainbow River is, and all that. And
dude,
but coming from there,
sounds so cool.
No,
man. Like a great
it's you get an interesting upbringing growing up in Central Florida. It's hard to explain it, but it's really interesting. Like a lot of America doesn't know how rich. Like I told my friend, that guy that I used to be business partners with, I told him I grew up on a ranch, on a farm in Central Florida. In his mind, he thought I was poor. And when I took him to see where I grew up, he's like, I thought you said you were poor. I was like, no, I never said I was poor. He's like, well, yeah, but you said you grew up on a farm. I'm like, yeah, 100 fucking acres, man. What are you talking about? 100 acres with fucking $2 million horses on it and shit.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I had no idea. I was like, yeah, just because they ain't got cash spending money to go out there and gamble with, and that fucking F-350 costs $120,000.
Oh,
it's not. He ain't poor. He's just a farmer.
Dude, one of my favorite things to do. I mean, I watch just about. My interests are so varied anymore, man. I late at night when I got spare time for myself, I just explore all kinds of things, and it can be. I've been on a kick lately, looking at like. The giant steamships back in the day, the Titanic, Britannic, all that kind of stuff, and then
Lusitania, all those.
And an offshoot of that is I found this channel that specializes in all the boats of the Great Lakes and how. The storms come through and they sink all these ships, and there's hundreds and hundreds of ships at the bottom of the Great Lakes, and these guys go down diving, looking for them and finding. I mean, my interests are so varied, but one of the things that fascinates me are these farming channels. And dude, I'm not kidding you. I watch these Kansas and Nebraska farming shows, YouTube shows, and there's 21, 22-year-old chicks driving these gigantic fucking farm machines, spitting out ears of corn. There's a guy driving alongside, and it is mind-blowing. Modern farming is, that's not a poor person's sport right there, man. That is, you got to know what the hell you're doing. It is, I find it fascinating, man. I mean, if push came to shove, you could get a job on a farm if you wanted to.
What I could probably get a job on a farm doing, it would be growing pot, probably, because I got that's what I was in Northern Cali learning how to do. So, and now with all the legalization, which I'd rather just be decriminalized, if horses were always, my grandfather he bred and showed Tennessee prize winning
Walkers.
world champion Tennessee Walkers, blue medal, blue ribbon winners, Patches. What was his whole name? It's like when it comes to these pedigrees, but Tennessee walking horses, man,
Yeah.
he loved it. But then he also, when he got out of showing and was no longer shoeing horses and doing blacksmith stuff, he was too old. He got into the draft horses and also into mules, and he ended up with just mules at the end because they're so much smarter than horses or anything else. Like, people don't understand. Like, mules are easy, stubborn, but they're much easier. You're not ever going to have to worry about your mule hurting itself or any of that shit. That's they won't do that stuff.
So you
But
know your way around horses.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah.
Wow.
I got no problems around them. Especially my grandfather had Belgian draft horses. It's like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
you could stand a thoroughbred next to it, and the draft was looking
walk
down at it like,
underneath it.
"What's
Yeah.
up, little guy?
Yeah. There was,
How you doing?"
yeah.
He had two that literally there was a dead oak tree up in the front of the property. It had been struck by lightning, but the tree was intact. It was just dead. 60-foot, massive oak tree. They uprooted it and drugged that 80,000, two horses, uprooted and drugged that tree to the back where we burned stuff. He put these clamps that when the chains pulled tight, it clamps down and they just pulled that tree right out of the ground like it
Oh,
wasn't
my
shit.
God. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you.
Like it wasn't shit.
I've seen.
Of course, the ass end on these horses, the ass end on them horses was 5 feet wide. It was like that.
Yeah. We're talking.
And I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2", and this is where their back was. That's where their back was.
Yeah.
And these aren't like horses you generally go ride unless you're a demonic Viking or something that's 7 feet tall. You can't get up on it.
Unless you can do the side splits. Yeah. Which I've never.
Well, I think that they actually steps. I think that's what the guys, because you can't put your leg up that high, but they actually had steps so they could get up onto these horses if they were going to ride them. And then it's not exactly the most comfortable ride. They're not built for riding. They're built for pulling stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like trying
planets out of alignment.
I love it.
They're strong. I've never seen nothing like it.
Oh,
I seen a guy get his big 4x4 stuck. Okay, he had 44-inch tires. He's stuck. The crane that came to get him out got stuck. My grandfather takes 4 fucking draft horses, goes out, and pulls them both out.
Amazing.
Pulls them both out.
Oh man.
So it's like a 4 horsepower versus 4,000.
But
no contest. No contest.
Real horsepower. Real
no contest.
Horsepower. All right. Well, shoot, man, we are kind of getting towards the end of the show, but I just have a few more burning questions, man. I do. Is there somewhere in your storied career? Now, I haven't asked how old you are yet, but we'll leave that a mystery for the folks out there. Has there been a Mrs. Cocaine somewhere along the line at some point?
There was a long time ago, and I learned my lesson by screwing up real bad, and I've been regretting it for a long time. I have 2 sons. One's 23, the other's 8.
Wow.
And love my boys to death, man. With my youngest, I feel unparalleled pride in him. It's a weird story, but I'll just say he's the only person on the planet with his name, and he's also the first person on the planet since they've been recording names with his name. And that's no joke.
Yeah.
The people that do know my son's name know that I'm not bullshitting. And I came up with that name 2 years before he was even conceived. No premonition, but we were on mescaline, and some weird shit happened. And it was an amazing time, and that I came up with his name, and it was 4,579 years old. Everybody knows that. It was an interesting. I was at a concert, and we had done some mescaline, and we were feeling really high. But something I learned about mescaline and pheromones. Mescaline makes other people see you the way you see yourself. I learned that because I'm not intimidating. I'm a people person, and I have no problems in crowds.
Right.
That may be a thing too. But I really think that mescaline recombines the pheromone signature and makes people see you the way you see yourself. And if you felt 10 foot tall, 1,000 pounds and bulletproof, everybody else saw me that way because we were all huddled together in a chain link fence outside because you couldn't smoke inside at this venue, the Palladium in Wichita. And I was saying, they got us in here like animals. And people were like, so all of a sudden people were like, yeah. And then I told this guy, I said, I know my worth. I know what I'm worth.
Right.
And then I told my girlfriend, and I said, and that's what we're going to name our son. Going to name him Worth. And the guy's like, dude, that's badass. I said, what are we going to name my son? And like 20 people went, Worth.
Oh, that is, I like it.
So that was his name. That became his name. And it was a great concert, man. Predicting the kid 2 years before he's conceived, his name, and I give his mom credit. She's a piece of shit. But at that moment, she was like, yeah. I'm going to go with the whole prophecy thing. I don't believe in shit like that, but you were dead on. You were dead on.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, I've always loved originality. I know a girl who was born July 7th in 1977. So 7/7/77, and her mom and dad named her Seva. And I dig stuff like that. You know, original. There won't be another kid named Seva for a long freaking time. That much I can tell. That much I can tell.
Yeah,
you.
my boy's name is Worthwhile, Wurth, and his middle name is Wyle, Wyle.
Right.
And it turns out I didn't know what it meant then. Turns out it means the powerful magic or powerful magician. But it turns out it's also both him being asked a question or an affirmation, like, are you worthwhile? So imagine before his brain ever knows what worthwhile means, years of that building in your head. Yes, I am. You're worthwhile. Yes, I am. It's nothing but positive. You can't make that kid. You can't make Worth feel bad. You can't make my Worthy Bear feel bad.
I love it.
You just can't do it because there's this like intrinsic coding that I'm worthwhile no matter what.
Yeah.
And then he knows he's the only one, and it's verifiable. There's never been nobody named. And I did mescaline.
I did.
And that's the only time I've ever done the drug, by the way. I've never done it again.
Once you barf, you know what's coming on, man.
I didn't barf, bro. All the stories I had heard.
Wow.
None of it happened. We had absolutely pure mescaline, like between three people, an amount this big, split in three between three people. And I said, how am I supposed to do this? And the other guy said, do we eat it? I said, it doesn't look like you eat it. And my girlfriend said, I mean, so little, because it's cut into threes. It was literally this microscopic amount. Bump it. So I don't do cocaine. My name's not about cocaine. Everybody knows I smoke. I smoke pot. I don't do hard drugs. But so I said, okay, why not? We'll just have some fun. And within 60 seconds, boom.
Well, I mean, you just stole my last question. I wanted to know of all the millions of things you could have called yourself, how did you end up with the name Burt Cocaine as a as a broadcasting name? Because it is a little fascinating.
Okay, so, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset. Okay, you've been in the music industry, around it, or around entertainment industry. I've been in the music industry. I know a lot of people I've met musicians, like really talented ones that are famous, and something wrong with the whole Nirvana thing. It takes 12 years to do it on your own, to do it as a band, to do it as in anything. 12 years of something makes you a master. 12 years is the time you got to put in to get that gold record, that plat. You got to put the time in. Somehow, a bunch of suburbans, like upper middle class suburban kids with no, just boom. Quadruple platinum was Nirvana. I think Bleach was the debut, but Nirvana was their second. But I mean, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, who the fuck sells 12 million copies on their second album without it being a manipulation? And what was the music? What was the music? It was all whiny stuff about, oh, I hate my parents, I hate my life, my dad.
Oh, I know.
It's all the whiniest shit ever. I'm like, really? From the 80s? This is what we're going from party, 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 and shit is awesome, the best economy in history, and we got this whiny bitch over here. Jesus, your dad makes $300,000 a year in the fucking 80s. What are you got to complain about? Why are you searching? And it kind of hit me. That's a psyop, man. And I know a lot of people love him, but we were talking about it the other night. Maybe one of the reasons he was so blue is he knew he was the sacrificial lamb. That just entered my mind here in the last few years. Maybe he knew, because it doesn't happen. What they did does not happen. No, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless it's made to happen. Yeah. So I never listened to him. I despised him. I despised his whole. And I know it probably pisses people off. This is nobody else has to feel that way. That was when I realized that there was a big psyop thing in music, that you didn't have to be good. It wasn't about that anymore. It was about messaging. It was about
absolutely.
We want you young kids, you young Gen Xers who don't know your direction. Right. Or we're going to give you a direction, misery. And this guy's got this little whiny shit is going to, and it was obvious the industry had done, look what they did to Metallica. And Justice for All, then you come out with the Black Album, the most self-deprecating, whiny crap.
Yeah, dude.
It's whiny.
Dude,
you got from guys who are like, had a message, and now they're bitching. What do you have to bitch about? You're multi-millionaire. Shut the fuck up and play.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, dude. I talk about getting disillusioned. I was born as in the late 50s, kid in New Jersey. 10 years old, my family moves to California, and through a stroke of luck, I land in the San Fernando Valley, which is just over the hill from L.A. and Hollywood and all that. And, I was enamored with music. My grandmother got me a radio when I was 4 years old, and I used to listen to that thing. And by 7 years old, I had a record collection. I was listening to music and all the groups that I absolutely fell in love with, and was just, the whole... I was way too young to be a hippie, but I loved that kind of music. And then years later, reading about, the whole Laurel Canyon thing, and how strangely enough, it wasn't this, organic, just all these people just happened to show up at the right time and got recording contract. No, man, the whole thing was, it was a psyop. It was put together, man. They're all sons and daughters of military freaking families, and Jim Morrison's dad was the guy in charge that said that the Gulf of Tonkin thing happened when nothing really happened. I mean, that's what got us into the Vietnam War, dude. Yep. Talk about being disillusioned by music. So, I hear you, man. I freaking. Oh man, I hear you. What do you have to bitch about?
And I would, yeah. What do you? I mean, listen. I understand music. Okay, you're going to tell a story, but you're talking about current events. Their music was about right now. It wasn't like when I was young, this happened to me and I beat it, and now look at me. It was my life sucked. Shut the fuck up. You are selling music about how shitty your existence is to kids in trailer parks with dope fiend parents.
Oh yeah,
you're telling them that your life is shit. What do you think they're going to do about their life?
Driving your freaking Camaros and your freaking yeah, man. It's
they're going to. And then what did we have in the late 80s, early 90s? The teenage suicide rate went through the fucking roof.
Isn't it crazy?
Through the fucking roof. They were making movies about it. Heathers was about the teenage suicide craze. It wasn't a craze, man. They were programmed. They were being told by rich, elite people that my life sucks too. So what chance do you have?
Oh, man.
And...
yeah,
to impressionable youth that had no direction because both their parents were at work 10 hours a day.
Yeah,
who are they listening to all day? MTV, that fuckhead.
It's Dude, it really is
So,
important. I mean, young kids are so impressionable, and they look up to these rich bastards, and unfortunately, television and things like MTV and movies and all it glorifies a lifestyle, particularly, man, the for kids who grow up like in the hoods and in the projects and stuff, they think that
oh man, that's
they got two ways out. Okay, they got to be either a basketball star or they got to be a what they think is a gangster. And it's so sad. It makes me it breaks my heart, dude. What another thing breaking my heart here is I just glanced at the time. Holy crap! I'm out of time. We're gonna have to boogie, but do me a favor before we go, please tell my friends where they can find your program. What nights of the week do you broadcast? And where can people check it out? What time do you go?
I am on Monday through Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on pill.net. Burt Cocaine.
I've got
Pretty much sticking to movie reviews and throwing in some music shows just to break it up. Maybe make my own music and stuff too. But I do have a Twitter at the Burt Cocaine. I think Rose is in the pill chat. I think she's got all my links and stuff. She can put. I don't have them.
I am currently dropping your link right now. I'm dropping it at D Live. Hang on a second. Let me grab. What the heck? What happened right there? Let's do.
Yeah, D Livers, come over.
Let's
and hang
just
out on
try
Pill
that.
too. We love you.
Try that again. Okay, got that. All right. Now we're gonna drop that link. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to go. Let me drop it over at Twitch. Get your name spread around here, man. Because I'm telling you, people need to come and check out your show. When you do go over there, people, please tell them your brother Zoe sent you, because you're bound to have a great time. I totally enjoyed your show. It is the most unique and different experience. I was just telling Mrs. Zoe about it earlier. I go, honey, you've never seen a show like this, guys. It is really, really freaking different.
You came in and it was on a music night, and I was feeling the old DJ come in, getting that old radio DJ rhythm about it, and it was all flowing, and it really was a classic kind of radio, show. It had the feel and the vibe, and I had a great night. That was a great night.
Oh, dude. Well, I very much appreciate you joining me tonight, Burt. We're definitely we're gonna do this again. I had no idea that you were on 6 nights a week. How fortunate that I chose a Sunday to have you join me. You're one night of the week off, man.
Yeah. The one night a week, I've decided that's my night.
Good for you. Well, hey, thank you so very much for joining me, man. It has been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Really an interesting dude, man.
Thank you so much.
You will see me in the chat over on Pilled Foxhole, because I love your show, man. What time do you typically go on?
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 Eastern. Okay, so 5 my time. Okay, good.
5 your time. Yes, sir.
All right. Brother, have yourself a great night there in Kansas, and again, thanks for joining me. We will do this again.
Thank you for having me,
folks.
It's an honor. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolutely. When you go over to see old Burt, tell him Zoe sent you, would you? All right. Thanks a lot, my man. We will talk to you sometime soon. Take care, buddy.
I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening, my friend.
You bet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Burt Cokaine, a really, really kind of a cool dude. I mean, we chatted on the phone when I just got to know him. I don't know, it seemed like half an hour, and we could have talked for hours. Just a really, really interesting guy. About as normal and cool and regular a dude as you're ever going to come across, but he does have a wacky show. He has a wacky show, and I love it. I freaking love it. All right. It is Sunday night, folks. That is the night of the week when I just take a minute and ask us to pray for our friends who are in need. Anyone who has seen this show before knows what we do here Sunday night. It is just what we do. It is what we do. I want to throw some names out there, and I'm going to ask that you pray for them, pray that they are made whole. Folks, it's as simple as this. The power of prayer. Prayer is so, talk about a sledgehammer, okay? If you believe in the power behind your prayer, you can heal someone, okay? You don't have to be, you don't have to have angels come down and have harps playing and music going on in the background and a host of cherubs singing in the background. The fact is, if you believe that you have the ability to heal someone, you can heal them. And your prayers are the most powerful thing that you have. That's the most powerful tool that you have. I want to ask us to please pray for our dear sister, Kay Roney. Kay Roney, she is a long time Foxhole regular. Kay Roney was, she was in the chats back in the good old days when Foxhole just started. I remember Kay Roney. I had no idea that this wonderful woman is battling cancer. Would you please keep our dear sister Kay Roney in your prayers? Ask that she be healed. That she be healed is my request. Believe that you can send her healing prayers and she will be healed. Kay Roney, please don't forget her. Please do not forget her. Our dear friend, a friend of this show and a friend of mine and a great guy, is someone who goes by the name of, quite frankly, we know him as Frank Valburo, host of the Quite Frankly program. Frank has been sick as a dog, people. And let me tell you what, I've been watching his show for just under 5 years now. And that man broadcasts when he's sick. If he's got a cold, he'll still broadcast. You can tell he's got a little. It takes an act of Congress for him to not broadcast. He hasn't broadcast now for 5 days running. That is very unlike Frank. That tells me that he is as sick as a dog. Would you please keep our dear brother Frank? Pray for him. Pray that he is made better, because this must be a doozy. It must be a doozy to knock him out like this. That's not what he does. Please keep Frank in your prayers right now. There is a young man that I work with. His son just had brain surgery. The guy that I work with, his name is Lalo. I don't know his son's name, but we don't need to know his son's name. His son is 12 years old. The doctors had to go in and open his skull to get into the very middle of his brain. This poor boy was having equilibrium problems and memory loss at 12 years old. The doctors opened him up. They feel that the surgery has the potential to be successful, but this is going to be a difficult time curing, getting him back to where he once was. Needless to say, they're from down here in Medford, where I live. Portland, where the operation was performed, is 400 miles north of here, and the father is driving it like every other day. So I pray for the family of my dear brother Lalo. Please pray that this young boy is healed, that the doctors made the right moves, and that this young man lives to have a fulfilling life. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. What could have transpired there? 12 years old, having your skull opened up. It just it takes my breath away thinking about it. Please pray for that young man. Pray for that young man. I'd like us to pray for one of the guys in our chat. That's my buddy Vault Music. He called in the other night, and I remember the very first night he called in, he shared with us that he's had to move. He's in a new location. He's had to get a new job. That everything is kind of new for him. I would ask us to pray for him that he finds some solidity in his current existence. That the job turns out to be something he loves. If you find something you like, you'll never work again, and that the home he has selected is, that he finds a place to call home. That's what I ask. Pray that this young man that God wraps his loving arms around him and takes care of him. That he finds a way to make it his own. Please keep Vault Music in your prayers. There are so many others out there who are in need of prayers. Our friend Gary Flessner, I understand he walked 100 feet yesterday. Walked 100 feet. This is a guy who broke his neck and had hip replacement surgery, or a broken hip repaired not 3 months ago. He is making a remarkable comeback, but he's got a ways to go, people. It's nowhere near at the, he's close. He can see the finish line, but he's got a ways to go. We want to see him get back in his own home. All right. I think he's out of the hospital, but I think he's living at some kind of assisted living center until such time as he regains the ability to care for himself. I mean, he will always need some kind of nursemaid to help him out with certain things around, three times a week, they'll drop in and make sure his needs are met. But just to get him home, please pray for our dear brother Gary, that he be healed, that he regain his strength, that he regain his motor functions. And let me tell you what, a tougher old bird that never came down the line, man. That is one unusual man right there. They cut him from a different cloth, and that's a fact. Please keep Gary in your prayers, if you would. Our sister, Artist61 wrote me about a young lady. I think her name is it Carrie? Let me find it. This woman is in a world of hurt. She is in a world of hurt, folks. This is her family. Yes. Carrie is her name. This is the young lady. And that is her family right there. That's her family. This young woman is in need of prayer. Oh my goodness. Wow. Please keep her in your prayers, that God will restore her to her fresh. Folks, this woman needs prayers. Please, Carrie, put her on the top of your list. Please do. There are many others who we pray for continually. Our brother Dave Mick, our dear sister Leah Worth, Cherie and Dave Maddox, our sister Captain Grams, all of them. Would you please keep praying for them, that life just keeps going their way. I want to really ask us to pray. This is so important. Our dear sister Mud Rabbit. Mud Rabbit has had some really challenging things go on in the last 2-3 weeks. And folks, if anyone needs our prayers, it's our dear sister Mud Rabbit. Please pray for her. I pray for her family that they are just able to come together in harmony. That's what she needs. That is what she needs more than anything in the world. All right, I'm going to have to get out of here, people. It's getting late. Your brother Zoe is tired. I don't know what's going on with me. I I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to bring it up. I want to thank my guest Burt Cokaine for joining me tonight. If you get a chance to check him out, you won't regret it. I can tell you his Saturday night show is just hysterical. Tell him Zoe sent you. Tell him that Zoe sent you. I'm going to take a second and I am going to drop some love your way. I want to thank the people who donated to the show tonight. Let me call out some names over here at Pilled Foxhole. Conservacrip, Burt Cocaine, Due Diligence, Video Demon Slayer, Sherry Pittsburgh, Purple Pixie, Smokey Randy, Smokey Randy, great freaking guy there. Yes. Mikey Baseball, Girl Patriot, Cynthia, Due Diligence. Thanks all of you for your support of the show. You guys rock. You rock. I am releasing the scratching over there. Releasing it. Go and get you some gold pills. That's what I'm saying. Go and get you some gold pills right now. I want to see you sharing the love. Somebody go over the top. Burt, pleasure having you, man. Pleasure having you aboard the mystery ship. Now, these D-Livers, they are a generous sort. They really freaking are. And because they're so generous, I'm going to return the favor. We are going to load up that D-Live treasure chest with some love right there. I'm going to put some love in the treasure chest. You can see it. Here it comes. Here comes the love, and I'm releasing it right now. It's coming. In 26 seconds, you will be feeling the love. I want to take a minute to guide you this Sunday night. Val Kimber, are you live tonight? Are you live tonight? I think you are. Sunday night? Isn't it Sunday nights with Val? I think he is. My brother Val Kimber has a wonderful music program over on D-Live, as does our sister Amethyst Cat. Go check the both of them out. Give them a follow over there at D-Live. You won't be sorry. You won't be sorry. Well, look who made the top numbers tonight. TL Spud, Gloria Paddock, Peggy Dancer, Jayla17, Black Cat. Congratulations, my friends. Good for you. Good for you. You got yourself a little something, something. Thank you to all the people donating over there tonight. That is awesome. Congratulations to all of the winners. Yes. My friend Vault Music says when he gets his new home set up, he'll be going live. That sounds like a good time as well. Gloria, thank you kindly. Yes. Val Kimber is streaming music on D-Live. You know what? I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it over here at Pilled Foxhole so you guys can go find him. How's that sound? Let's do just that. Let's put it right there. Bingo. Bingo. All right. Go over and show Val a little love. Val's a great dude. A great, great dude. All right. People are winning over there at Pilled Foxhole. Like to see that. I wonder if I could. Nope. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any. My lottery ticket isn't working tonight. All right. Your brother Zoe is booking it on out of here. Have a great week ahead, people. We are going to release the horny manatee. You'll hear her crying out for love here in just a minute. Everyone, I'm going to spend a couple minutes saying my goodbyes personally in the different chats, but as far as on camera goes, thank you guys for hanging out with me. It has been a pleasure. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to the mods. You're absolutely wonderful. Love you all. Thanks to the supporters of this program and to the supporters of every program. You're the best. Folks, please keep those people in mind who need your prayers. They really need it. They really, really need it. K. Roney and Carrie and Gary and Lalo. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That God wraps his loving arms around them is my wish. Good night, my friends. We will see you Wednesday night. Wednesday night, the mystery ship returns. Have a great one, everybody. We'll see you down the line. See you down the line. That manatee sounds like she needs some love. She's calling out to you, TL.